care what you're weighing. You're still a sausage. You still got a massive head.
To me, I just want to get this guy out of boxing. I want to beat him so badly that he doesn't want to ever fight again.
I'll meet you bang in the middle, mate, and I'll nip it in the bud right here, right now. You know, I don't think you can come walk over to me and pull up on me and think I ain't going to do nothing about it.
You're lucky you're fighting tomorrow. I'll fuck you up right now.
Yeah. You see, this guy comes in when I'm cutting weight.
Oh, it comes in when he comes. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow after the fight. I'll see you tomorrow after the fight.
You get in that ring.
Yeah, what? Get in that ring. I'll get in that ring and fucking give it to you.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course, mate.
We'll see.
You're fucking lucky you're fighting tomorrow.
You'll see.
You're lucky, mate.
We'll see.
Get your hand off me.
Oh, it's okay. Let him come close, man. I like this. I like this energy.
The tension between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. is electric. This isn't just a face-off. It's a showdown waiting to explode. Benn isn't holding back, calling out Eubank Jr. and practically daring him to make the first move. His confidence is through the roof, clearly looking to turn up the heat. But Eubank Jr. isn't new to this game. He stands firm, exuding calm confidence, seemingly unbothered by the aggression. Yet, beneath the surface, the disrespect is undeniable. Benn has youth and hunger on his side, but Eubank Jr.'s experience makes this a true test of skill and grit. The back and forth has been intense, but words won't matter when the gloves come on. It's all about who can back it up in the ring. Now it's official. Mark your calendars for April 26th.
He wants that fight. So the fight's gonna happen.
That's him just selling it to the media that I pulled up on him while he's wagering. And most people will fall for it.
Conor Benn said to us that will be his next fight. Is that it now? Next fight is going to be Conor Benn for you, Chris.
As long as he gets his license back, the fight's next.
6th, Benn versus Eubank Jr. is happening. After all the drama and build-up, the anticipation is at a fever pitch. Fans know this is more than just another fight. It's personal. For Benn, this is about redemption, proving he's still a force to be reckoned with. For Eubank Jr., it's a chance to silence critics and elevate his career to the next level. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the energy surrounding this clash is undeniable. Expect fireworks in the ring. Will Eubank Jr.'s experience give him the edge, or is Benn ready to shake up the boxing world once again? One thing is certain. This fight is going to be an all-out war. This isn't just a fight, it's a grudge match guaranteed to have everyone talking. Are you ready for the ultimate showdown? Who do you think will come out on top in this heated...
Honest with you, like at the end of the day, the reality is winning is worth a lot more than 100 grand. I think we do something for charity, whatever, I think it would be nice.
Eddie, he said that he feels that he's getting paid, if not more than Conor Benn, around the same. What do you make on that?
Who?
That was
Ben Shalom.
First of all,
he's making double-digit millions for this fight. If
First
so,
of all,
Chris Eubank needs to sue him.
Rivalry. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Things escalated quickly between Ben Shalom and Eddie Hearn, and it's no surprise why. Shalom didn't hold back, making strong statements about boxing's money game. He emphasized that, for him, winning holds far more value than any paycheck, even suggesting that charity work could be a more meaningful outcome. But then Eddie Hearn fired back with a bombshell of his own. He directly addressed the claim that Conor Benn might be earning the same, or even more, than Chris Eubank Jr. for this fight. Hearn dismissed the notion outright, implying that if Eubank Jr. is truly on the same pay scale as Benn, he should consider taking legal action.
He'll be there for the fight.
I think he could potentially be there, yeah. I don't think it would take too much for him to be there. It's just a few conversations and things to be worked out in between, I'm sure. But yeah, it's obviously a fight that Chris Eubank Jr. is carrying the promotion alone, at the moment. So
why do you say that?
Because he is the one that's engaged the public.
Gloves are off, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Meanwhile, Harlem Eubank added even more fuel to the fire, making it clear that the behind-the-scenes dynamics are just as intense as the fight itself. He firmly believes Conor Benn will be present for the fight, though a few final details still need to be ironed out. What really grabbed attention, though, was Harlem's take on Chris Eubank Jr., his confidence, his approach, and the way he's handling the pressure. With all this drama leading up to fight night, one thing's certain. This is shaping up to be one of the most explosive face-offs in boxing history. Chris Eubank Jr. is carrying this entire promotion on his back, becoming the face of the fight.
Itself is a mismatch, you know. The build-up has been a mismatch, you know, and
is that because Chris is too big? Do you think?
I don't think it's necessarily well, you know, it's obviously the size at a different weight class. You know, in boxing there's different weight classes, and you fight your weight. And Chris is, as well as being bigger, has fought at a much higher level
and drawing public attention like never before. Meanwhile, Conor Benn has taken a more reserved approach, staying on the sidelines. Harlem Eubank pointed out the imbalance in promotional efforts. Eubank Jr. has stepped up, engaging with fans and media, making it clear that he's the one driving the narrative. Whether Benn steps in or not, the buzz is undeniably centered on Jr. Harlem didn't hold back in his assessment, calling the fight a total mismatch, both in the build-up and inside the ring. In his view, Chris Eubank Jr. is simply on another level. While Benn may be stepping into a different weight class, the real issue is the massive experience gap. Eubank Jr.
It's quite difficult sometimes, especially if you're dry like Chris Eubank. He will struggle to stay within that £10 limit. I have a feeling he won't do it. I have a feeling he'll agree to it, he'll pay a fine and maybe weigh in 15 or 16 pounds over. But
who did he fight recently and he looked like he was completely dead at the weight?
His last fight.
Was it Liam Smith, the first one?
Yeah.
He looked like he looked awful.
Brutal. And that's how hard it is to make. That's why I think it's kind of the rehydration clause puts things slightly more into Conor Benn's favour, which is unfair.
Has faced far tougher opponents and fought at a much higher level, setting him apart from Benn. Harlem stressed that while size plays a role, the real deciding factor is competition level. Benn hasn't faced the same caliber of fighters, and that experience difference will be his downfall. In Harlem's eyes, this fight was never a fair contest. Eubank Jr. has more skill, experience, and power, making this an uphill battle for Benn. The gap is too wide, and when the bell rings, it'll be exposed. On the other side, Carl Frampton didn't hold back on the TalkSport Boxing podcast, casting doubt on whether Eubank Jr. can make the weight limit. Frampton believes that when Eubank is drained,
Eubank Jr. is his own man, and that's what he's always tried to make out. This is me, this is my career, and this is how I do things. Dad, that was your era, that was your time, blah, 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 let me do this. But I'm sure he'd love to have him sat ringside watching him.
Staying within the 10-pound rehydration clause will be a struggle, hinting that it could affect his performance significantly. Eubank Jr. might agree to the weight terms, but there's speculation he could end up paying a fine and weighing in 15 to 16 pounds over. Reflecting on Eubank's recent fight with Liam Smith, Carl Frampton pointed out how drained he looked, emphasizing the difficulty he faces making weight. But the bigger issue, according to Frampton, is the rehydration clause, which he believes works in Conor Benn's favor. Frampton argues that this clause unfairly tips the scales toward Benn, making things harder for Eubank Jr. and potentially Schiff. Meanwhile, Joe Gallagher didn't hold back when analyzing Eubank Jr.'s pursuit of independence. Eubank Jr. has been vocal.
A good thing sometimes to have a little bit of weight to train off. Not a lot, but and I think that's what Eubank's got, whereas Conor is already at the weight, or there or thereabouts. So that's also a benefit in the sense like he can now just completely fuel his training and fuel his performance. But it's always going to favour the bigger man. It's always going to favour the bigger man.
Vocal about carving his own path, distancing himself from his father's legacy. But beneath the bravado, there's an unspoken truth. Eubank Jr. is still seeking validation. He won't admit it, but deep down, having his father in his corner, watching him dominate in the ring, would mean everything. It's a silent struggle no one dares to address. The big question remains: can Eubank Jr. truly rise to the top on his own, or will he always be haunted by the very legacy he's trying to escape? The clock is ticking, and the drama is just beginning. On the other hand, Shane McGuigan isn't shy about emphasizing the benefits of carrying extra weight during training, adding another layer to the weight debate. With so many moving parts, this fight...
Also very close with Conor Benn. He's a good pal of mine, so it's very hard for me to sort of sit back and say this or say that. I think they're doing a fantastic job in selling their fight. I think it's going to be a fantastic fight. They both obviously have the needle with each other, and they're both going to give it everything. So be prepared for war, and I hope they get out of the ring safe and sound.
...is shaping up to be a battle on every level. Shane McGuigan argues that Chris Eubank Jr. benefits from carrying extra weight during training, using it as a tool to push himself harder. Meanwhile, Conor Benn, already close to his fight weight, can focus purely on refining his conditioning. On paper, Benn's approach seems smarter, allowing for more precise training without the added strain of cutting weight. But McGuigan isn't convinced. He knows that in boxing, the bigger man often has the advantage. In this particular showdown, size could be a crucial factor. However, McGuigan highlights another key element: age. Despite Benn's impressive conditioning, the age gap could play a huge role. Stamina and recovery become vital in the later rounds, and the older Eubank Jr. might have the edge when it matters most. If the fight drags into deep waters, age and experience could be the ultimate game changers. Meanwhile, Tommy Welch opens up about the difficulty of staying neutral ahead of this explosive matchup. Given his close ties to both fighters, Welch finds himself torn. He reveals that Benn has been training at his gym, and they've developed a strong bond, making it hard for him to pick a side. Despite his personal connections, Welch praises both fighters for how they've built the fight, acknowledging the undeniable intensity of their rivalry. The animosity between them is real, and Welch describes this as a true war. Both Eubank Jr. and Benn will enter the ring with everything on the line, determined to prove who is truly the best. Welch's only hope is that both fighters leave the ring safely, no matter the outcome. This fight is shaping up to be one of the most intense clashes in recent memory.